Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Just Be, because just being yourself is enough. I'm Etienne.
And I'm Domingo, and in this channel we are here to support you to just be you.
So we welcome you in another episode of the fashion segment, and once again Domingo is going to teach us a little bit about his knowledge. My question to you, Domingo, is what is the biggest misconception that there is in the fashion world?
A lot of the misconception that comes from the fashion world is that you, as an individual, have to follow trends, especially now that we have so much exposure from a very young age.
Like especially Instagram, which kids were not supposed to be exposed to that, and now it's part of normal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of visual representation, and following that is something that you don't necessarily have to do. And you know, for the longest time I've always took a stance in terms of separating the two main things when you think of fashion and clothing and all of this visual representation that would want you to put your best foot forward out there. And those two keywords are style and fashion, or I'd like to say style versus fashion, because it's really a battle between the two. You know, style is a mannerism. It's something that you do in life. So like, for example, I'm a fast speaker, or sometimes when I speak in my native tongue, which is Cebuano, my style is to, or the style of the language is to really be very aggressive. That's just how it is. So the mannerism is connected to your style. However, in fashion, as what Karl Lagerfeld said, may he rest in peace, is fashion's on the street. It's an inspiration that everyone needs to take into account for them to be able to live an inspired life, to live in a life that they can paint the town red because they're very inspired.
If I'm hearing you correctly, is there one of the two that is feeding off of the other? Is there like one between style or fashion that is the stronger one?
I'm glad that you brought that up, because it is definitely a cycle. That's why you can be stylish and fashionable at the same time. To identify your individuality, I really find it super helpful if you separate the style and your fashion, and then be playful with it and create a unique expression of who you are as to how you're able to represent yourself. For example, style. My style is very classic.
It is.
What? I would like to think so. My style is very classic with a little bit of I don't know if I can say that word.
Well, you just did.
So sexiness. So what I always say when I used to do a lot of workshops between style versus fashion is the style. If you haven't heard of Sex and the City, I would really encourage you to research them, because all these four women really reflect who we can be as people. And there are so many categories out there. There are so many ways that you can identify your style, but for the lack of argument and for just this example, you know, the four girls can be translated into a man or women. There's even the Spice Girls, right? Sporty Spice, you know, there's the baby Spice, or the posh, the scary,
ginger,
and you know, the one that is a little bit sexy, like Samantha in Sex and the City. That's why they're kind of like vis-a-vis. So the four really reflects the fashionable, the classic, the structured way of looking, or you can say it's a sporty one, otherwise the sexy one as well.
In other words, the thing that you're saying is that your style is the representation of your inner self, and with fashions it evolves through time, but you still keep the same inner self. Am I right?
Yes and no. So the style is the way how you deliver yourself, just like whatever categories we were talking about earlier. But the fashion is a tool for you. It's a medium. It's the one on the streets. It's the one that you call retail therapy, when you actually go to a store and buy something to make you feel good, to fill that void where, you know what, I'm feeling sporty today because I'm inspired. I want to work out. Summer is around the corner. So then you go into the streets, or into a store and purchase the clothing that would reflect the mood and would reflect what you're looking for at that right time. The style is something that you and I need to cultivate at all times, because that is the one that's evolving. Yes, fashion is always going to be evolving because of the seasons and what the designers and the fashion world dictates, but by the end of it, it's really how you're taking all of those things to make it represent you.
One more question. I'm trying to get it right. If I'm understanding it well, style goes beyond clothing.
There you go. Absolutely. Because style is the genius within you. That's the one that you need to cultivate. This is the 6-year-old living inside you that you can look back and say, hey, do I look good? Because you know what? When you go out in the streets, fashion or not, a 6-year-old will always tell you what you're gonna look like and what you look like. So,
and if you don't look well, they will tell you no filter.
And everybody, one here, and every one of us has a 6-year-old living inside us. So if we cultivate that and evolve with that person, then you evolve your style and you have fashion, which is a wide range of so much fun, color, no color, it doesn't matter, but that's the tool for you to express who you are or who you want to become.
In other words, if I keep my own style, do I have a need to follow what is the current fashion at the moment?
So once you have established your style and you've evolved it, you can evolve your fashion in correspondence to your style.
If I understand correctly, you, at the beginning of the video, you put style versus fashion, but it's like two magnets that could be both positive and they both do the same thing, but they just clash.
The reason why I say style versus fashion is because sometimes fashion can really be used against somebody who has style.
What do you mean?
Let's talk about, and everyone's probably are going to not like what I'm gonna say, Billie Eilish. I don't even know her name. Billie Irish?
No, it's
Eilish?
too L. It's too L.
Eilish?
It's debatable. I don't know. We'll have to ask her.
I have to say, she's a gorgeous lady. She makes great music. She has talent. But when she rocked, and this is a big word for me, the red carpet which Chanel had to toe, she looks like a piece of trash.
I do agree. I don't want to say that, but I do agree. But explain yourself.
She has style. She has green hair. Not everybody can pull off green hair. I tried red hair, and every day, to this day, he still makes fun of me. But when you're ramping around with an oversized, it doesn't matter if you're wearing Chanel, designer, couture, if it doesn't suit your style, or maybe at that time it did suit her style, but I thought her style was edgy, a little bit of baggy, and then she transcended that into a designer that makes structured jackets.
Yeah, Chanel is not edgy. No.
Style and fashion, they're interchangeable. But if you're one out there that is trying to find the best expression and how to use a tool, a medium to express who you are, then figure out your style versus your fashion, and then take a look at your style and take a look at your fashion and see if they link together.
Find your style first and then adapt it with the fashion that you see in the magazines or in the streets.
Absolutely. And you know what? We're talking about what's the styles of movies that you like? What's the style of food that you like? What's the style of penmanship or even conversations or even the people that you surround yourself with and the shops that you go into? I love window shopping. It drives him crazy. But I like to go into contemporary stores and modern stores, but at the same time, highly architectural, very rich Victorian houses.
Yes. Yes, we do.
So my style is very mishmash, but I was able to find pieces of my fashion clothing icon to express who
You
I am. Yeah.
How did you get to find that this is your actual style?
I understand that right now, the technology is our friend. Pinterest is everywhere. However, I'm very traditional. I still like to grab those magazines, pay for them, obviously, and breeze through the shiny gloss of magazines. And there's a way for you to be able to pinpoint. How I started was tearing those pages in each magazine and actually putting it on a board. And if you don't have a board, put it on a wall. Every single thing that you liked. I once went and visited a Mini Cooper store because I've always, or a dealership because I've always wanted a Mini Cooper. I went there and said, can I have a picture of a Mini Cooper, and it's red and it's convertible? And I took that out and I put it on my wall. This is what you call manifestation. And sooner or later that you do this, as soon as you've accumulated all of these tear sheets, all of these images, this visual representation is amazingly is going to guide you to what your style is really. Because guess what? You're gonna find commonalities and the common denominator of all of these images. And if you're like me, who's very, very visual, it gives me a perspective, a really, really good one that I can say, you know what? This is the reason why, if you see my closet, I only have 4 colors. Black, white, if you consider them colors, navy or shades of blue, and then gold or shades of gold or yellow.
Yeah, that's about it. That is, yeah. And knowing you, those are the colors that make you happy and that makes you proud of going out of your house.
Yeah, and it makes me feel fabulous because then this is when I did an exercise, and this is something that if you guys are interested in doing this, please send us a message and we'd be more than happy to talk about this. It's a marketing exercise that I've actually created for branding. And this is for me, once I found out what my true style and my true fashion is, it makes me so happy when I get out in the morning because I don't have to really even think about it. I'm just attracted to it. So my branding is a fashion expression leader and your best dressed creative warrior.
That, and at the end of the day, this made you understand better who you were.
Yes, and it validated who I want to be and I want to become, and I embraced my individuality.
The hardest question of it all, in one word, what can you tell me about style and fashion? What is style in one word?
Style in one word would be manners. Fashion in one word is retail.
I wouldn't have thought about it this way, but I like it. If you have any comments, just put them down below and click the subscribe button and remember to subscribe. So it's been Etienne
And Domingo,
and we welcome you to just
be.